Hi, I recently got a message from Jose in Spain, and he had a few questions about the 9-value grayscale and how to use it out in the field. It can be a handy device when you're trying to find values and mix up paint to accurately represent those values. Here's the 9-value grayscale. And what you want to do is you just simply want to look through this, and all this is a piece of plastic that I salvaged from a piece of packaging, and you want to see how the dot, the value matches, disappears when you put it over. Now you can see that I'm looking at the sky on that painting behind me. You can see that the dots there, the lighter dots, tend to disappear, and the darker dots are quite obviously dark. Now in this video you can't see as much, how this works. The 9 actually is white, and on the video here it looks quite gray. So it's not working as well as it might. You can make one of these quite easily by mixing up values 1 through 9 using black and white. And so 5 will be your middle value. So you can mix up that middle one, and then very carefully make it drop in value between 9 steps. Or you can buy some acrylics from Golden Acrylics, and they have tube colors that come in 1 to 9 values. So that's a handy tool. Now the question is, that Jose posed, how do I use this in the field? Now what you want to make sure is that the light that's hitting this, the front of this that you're looking through, is the same light that's hitting your subject. In other words, you don't want to have your 9-value scale in the shade and the object you're looking is in full sun. Now, I mean, obviously it can, there can be shade in your scene, and that's fine, but you don't want this to be in full shade, or it just simply won't work. So you just get into the full sun like you're seeing, and you simply match these values. So let's say that you're looking at a tree and you find that tree is a value, the light side is, or let's go the dark side is like a value 3. Okay. So then you look down at your palette, and looking through this, you can mix up some paint and you can do the same thing. Now as long as your paint's in the shadow, which it probably should be if you're painting outside, I prefer that. This can be in the shade then as you're mixing up that. So you just have to make sure that the things you're trying to match are under the same light source, and you should be fine. So your palette should be in shade, so this will be in shade too, and then you just look through here and you match the number 3. Now this is valuable because oftentimes it's hard to determine what values are what out in the field. So you can get, this is very precise, and you can get almost a kind of a photographic realism that I find a little bit off-putting, because as your values match your scene, you're going to lose some of your chroma. And by that I mean, when we match over here to the darks of this green of this tree right here, as I match it darker, I'm going to find the exact value, but it's going to look very gray. It's not going to have a lot of color in it. So one of the things you want to learn as you use this device, this technique, is to offset some of your darks and some of your very lights by making it a little bit more colorful, adding more color in. But I think it's handy if this appeals to you. Obviously it's not going to appeal to everybody, but if this appeals to you, you should try to match value for value out in the field, and just try it and see how it works. And you'll get a very interesting result. I can guarantee you that. It'll probably be very surprising. You'll learn a lot of things about how trees are very dark, how the sky is very light, and you'll learn a lot from that experience. So give that a try. Now, one thing I do have to mention is, after several years of using this technique, I really don't use the value scale much, except in the studio occasionally, if I'm having a problem matching a color. Let's say I want to match a value like to a sky, if I'm painting over something, I might want to make sure that that value is exactly right on, and I'll use the value finder. But other than that, I might not really use it all that much. And that's what's great about using a tool like this, is it's something that you can just practice and then abandon it. It's just like using the scales. A musician's not going to get up on stage and play scales. Nobody's going to be entertained by that. So, this can be a little bit cumbersome after a while, after you get the drift of how values work in the field. But it's a tool that you can use to get from point A to point B. And people simply don't understand values as well as they should when they first encounter, trying to interpret the natural world in paint. So this is a great tool. You should give it a try, and let me know how it goes for you. Thanks.